Don't you do it, don't hurt him.
I've had an interesting journey with the Grammys again because I've performed at the Grammys. I've been nominated as a writer. I've been nominated as an artist, and crazy enough, every single one of those times have felt completely different. Performing at the Grammys, I had already been I had a pretty extensive resume as a performer when I was performing at the Grammys. And although, you know, it was with a different artist. My first time performing at the Grammys was with Tyrese and El Varner. They do like a pre-Grammy telecast. And this was a tribute, I think, to like Gamble and Huff, if I'm correct. Or maybe it wasn't Gamble and Huff. I just remember we did, Tyrese and El Varner did Let's Get It On. And Tyrese did his song Stay at the time. So I was singing background for him. And then the next time I was dancing there, it was with Pharrell. I think Happy had been nominated that year, so it was a special performance. He had collaborated with the classical composer Lang Lang, and so I was a part of that. So then when I got, you know, one feeling I didn't share, one of those times I was there, our category was being called right before we went on stage to perform. So imagine not winning, hearing somebody else's name, and they're like, all right, to the stage. So it's like, all right, cool. So that was very conflicting, you know, because you wanted that to be a celebratory moment, and you got to walk on stage, put your game face on about the fact that it didn't just happen the way you thought it would happen. And so my first artist nomination, again, bringing it home to me with PJ and PJ and Charlie Burrell, was crazy because I did not expect it. I literally did not expect it. And I have this recorded. I like jumped up like off of the couch. I just couldn't believe it. And it was interesting then because the Grammys, they'll show the full list of nominees, but then still read them one by one. So they called the category. Then she's reading the names one by one, but I had already scanned down and saw that we had got the nomination. So like by the time she made it to like the second name, I jumped up, and I always laugh because looking at the video, it looks like I'm jumping because of the second name that she called. It was like, nah, that was just my point of realization that we had just got a nomination. And so this last one was the most different, I think. Getting a nomination, solo nomination, seeing your name by itself. I'm an independent R&B artist. I've never been signed to a label. I upload my music myself. I write all of my music. Like, so getting a solo Grammy nomination was like insane because this is the stuff that they tell you that you can't do as an independent artist. This is literally what independent artists fight for that visibility. Like, so campaigning in a system like that in theory doesn't even work in your favor, you're already feeling defeated. You kind of just doing it just to see if you can prove yourself wrong. You know what I mean? And so when I got my solo nomination for Lucky, that was surreal. It was like a whole different feeling than any of the other times. I wrote and recorded this song at home in my room, like as I do all of my music. I've never released any music, as much music as I have out. Nothing I've ever released from myself have I recorded in the studio. My place to create is at home. I'm just used to it. I engineer myself, and so that was a very, very different feeling. And it feels like crazy now performing that song because it's like, just seeing people's responses. I'm like, I remember running in the house because I had an idea in my head and hurrying up and pulling up Pro Tools to like freestyle it so that I wouldn't lose the idea. And it's also funny and a testament to like purpose and persistence and consistency, because all of the other times that I intentionally did stuff to try and get the opportunity, it didn't happen. And here's the time where I'm like, I wasn't really tripping. Like, it's just another record. And it's like, y'all picked that one? So that was amazing. And that also that taught me how to trust myself and know that I'm good at what I do. I'm great at making music, because all you got to do is be yourself and make what you want to make. Like, I never in my life again will I ever purposely create something for a specific result. I just know how to be myself, and it'll find its way to where it's supposed to be. If I could give any advice to potential creatives who want to really do this and be successful at it, I think one thing I would say is to embrace your journey, like the uniqueness of your journey. I think that's super important because we have social media, and having social media, I have this theory where I feel like the reason the energy on socials is the way that it is because subconsciously people are typically looking at things that they don't have all day. So it's kind of telling you for some reason that you obviously haven't reached a certain level of success, which creates like natural comparison. And so I think that you gotta like snatch your perspective back and not allow it to be shaped by what other people are doing. And so it's super important to stay on top of that and to fully just literally embrace what you're doing. Because when you start comparing it to other people and other people's final products, because just remember, on socials is just a highlight of everybody's best moments. Nobody's putting where they failed. Everybody's putting what worked out for them. And so I think understanding that and learning how to use stuff like that as inspiration and not a guide to where you should be is important. Like, you just got to remember to take your time, your moment, hold yourself accountable, and just do what you love until you find it. I think you'll identify that. Once you identify that purpose, like, you know the feeling, and you just stick with it. So that's what I would offer. Hey, what's up? It's Kenyon Dixon, a.k.a. R&B Kenny, if you really love R&B and you're tapped in with 24/7 HH.